Welcome back, everyone. Have you ever wondered how a simple 1985 1-cent coin from the United States, an ordinary penny that most people would ignore or toss in a change jar without a second thought, could end up being valued at a staggering $11 million and make history as one of the most astonishing and valuable minting anomalies ever discovered in the world of coin collecting? A tiny piece of copper-clad zinc that has defied all expectations and become the holy grail of modern numismatics, setting records, sparking international bidding wars, and leaving even seasoned collectors and mint historians utterly speechless, because what appears at first glance to be a typical Lincoln memorial cent struck at one of the U.S. mints during a routine production year is actually at the heart of a mysterious and highly valuable numismatic legend, a legend rooted in mint errors, transitional blunders, experimental metallurgy, rare die anomalies, mechanical failures, and accidental releases that together have created an extraordinary phenomenon surrounding the 1985 cent that now has the numismatic community scrambling for clues. And it all begins with understanding what happened behind the scenes during the year when the U.S. Mint was struggling to adapt to evolving production demands, aging equipment, and the shift in composition that had been made just a few years earlier in 1982 from the traditional bronze alloy to a copper-plated zinc core due to the rising cost of copper, a change that dramatically affected the way pennies were struck, wore down dies more quickly, caused more frequent plating issues, and opened the door to a wide range of minting mistakes. And among the billions of 1985 cents that flooded into circulation, there exists a microscopically small group of coins, perhaps only one or two known to exist, that display a baffling combination of errors so extreme and so unique that they have elevated this ordinary penny to the level of myth and treasure, including examples of double-struck coins, off-center strikes, broad strikes, coins struck on foreign planchets such as dime blanks or copper-nickel blanks intended for other denominations, and most famously, the only known 1985 penny struck in pure bronze despite the official composition being copper-plated zinc. A transitional error that likely occurred when a leftover bronze planchet from a previous era was accidentally fed into the striking press at a time when it should have been impossible, and when combined with an unusually sharp strike, pristine mint state preservation, and other potential anomalies such as a misaligned die, rotated reverse, or hub doubling on Lincoln's profile or the date, the result is a coin that numismatic experts call a once-in-a-lifetime discovery with no equal in modern U.S. coinage. And it's this coin, authenticated, graded, and encapsulated by PCGS at a jaw-dropping MS68 red, with documented evidence of transitional composition, off-metal strike, and reverse doubling, that shocked the world when it sold for $11 million in a private collector's auction, making headlines across financial, historical, and collectibles media and igniting a wildfire of interest in 1985 pennies of all types, with amateur and professional collectors alike racing to examine their change jars, coin rolls, and old storage boxes for anything with a 1985 date, hoping they too might uncover a piece of hidden treasure. And what's particularly incredible is how many varieties and subtypes of 1985 cents are now being discovered thanks to advancements in microscopic imaging, metal analysis, and machine learning software that can detect and catalog subtle minting variations that would have gone unnoticed decades ago, including die chips that form extra letters or ghostly shapes, plating bubbles that resemble extra designs, clash marks from die collisions, and coins with eerie features like floating dates or letters, all of which command increasing premiums as the market continues to grow. And contributing to the astronomical value of this specific $11 million specimen is its provenance, rumored to have once belonged to a former mint employee who quietly passed it down through generations before it was finally certified and offered to elite collectors, adding a layer of intrigue and mystery that fuels its legendary status, because in the world of high-end coin collecting, story and rarity are everything, And when a coin is both, it becomes an artifact of historical importance, a financial investment, and a cultural icon all in one. And that's exactly what's happened with the 1985 1-cent piece, a coin that defies logic and expectation and represents the perfect storm of rarity, error, condition, and mystery. And as collectors become more sophisticated, with access to databases, diagnostics tools, auction histories, and third-party authentication, the pursuit of similar coins becomes even more intense, creating a modern-day gold rush for error coins and making every 1985 penny worth a second look, especially those that exhibit strange features, since even minor doubling or unexplained color tones could hint at a rare composition or die variation that could multiply the coin's value 1,000-fold. And when coins like this emerge, they don't just fetch millions, they change lives, redefine market standards, and become the centerpiece of museum exhibits, investor portfolios, and international coin expos where collectors travel from around the world just to catch a glimpse of these elusive legends. And as the numismatic market continues to evolve, with increasing interest from younger generations discovering the hobby through viral social media posts, YouTube channels, and treasure hunting communities, the spotlight on coins like the 1985 cent will only continue to intensify. And whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the story of the 1985 penny is a powerful reminder that even the smallest objects, overlooked, ignored, and often discarded, can contain untold value, deep history, and life-changing potential. So the next time you receive a penny in your change, don't dismiss it. Flip it over, check the date, look for signs of errors, and you might just be holding $1 million mistake in your hand, because the next legendary 1985 cent could still be out there, waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye and a bit of luck. And if you enjoyed this incredible story about one of the most valuable coins in American history, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin discoveries, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next hidden gem hiding in plain sight. Next are 1975 1-cent USA coin. Imagine pulling a coin out of your pocket, thinking it's just another ordinary penny. But what if that tiny copper-colored piece was actually worth an eye-watering $6 million? And what if that coin was a 1975 1-cent USA coin that looks like every other penny you've ever seen, but actually hides one of the most baffling, rarest, and valuable combinations of minting errors, transitional anomalies, and production quirks ever known in the history of American coinage? Because today we're diving deep into the incredible, almost unbelievable story of the 1975 1-cent coin that stunned collectors, rocked the numismatic world, and rewrote the playbook for what a modern-era coin could be worth. So before we explore every single detail behind why this 1-cent coin is fetching multi-million-dollar offers at elite auctions and catching the attention of billionaires, investors, and historians alike, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe, because this is one treasure hunt you won't want to miss. Now, to truly understand the staggering value of this coin, we need to go back to the heart of the 1970s, a decade marked by economic uncertainty, political scandal, rapid technological shifts, and changes in the U.S. Mint's coin production processes that opened the door for a once-in-a-lifetime mistake that transformed a simple Lincoln penny into an irreplaceable artifact of minting history. The year 1975 was supposed to be a routine production year for the Lincoln cent, with billions of coins struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints using the standard copper alloy planchets and designs that had been in place since 1959, when the memorial reverse replaced the earlier wheat ears. But as the mint was preparing new dies and technology ahead of the nation's bicentennial celebrations in 1976, changes were already being tested behind the scenes, and certain experimental features were being quietly trialed for integration into production runs. And it was during this exact window that something extraordinary occurred. A single coin, or possibly a micro handful, was struck using a transitional die that did not belong to the 1975 configuration. Experts believe this die was mistakenly pulled from the experimental inventory that was being used to design and test new fonts, device spacing, and mint-mark placements for the upcoming bicentennial releases. And while the vast majority of 1975 cents were produced normally, this particular coin was struck with a die containing modified font styling on the date and inscriptions, a radically different spacing between the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust, and most bizarrely, a shadow-like doubling effect that gives the visual appearance of a double die obverse, but not a conventional one, because in this case, it is now classified as a Type 3 mechanical offset caused by die bounce, a highly misunderstood and rarely surviving form of doubling that requires a precise set of conditions to occur and remain visible post-strike, which makes this example so rare it may be the only known survivor. But the mystery doesn't stop there, because metallurgical testing revealed that the planchet used for this coin was not the standard 95% copper and 5% zinc blend, but rather an unusual 91% copper, 6% tin, and 3% silver alloy that has never been documented in any official mint records from that time, which has led to theories that this planchet may have originated from a batch of foreign coin blanks being prepared for export to Central or South America, or was part of a discarded experimental batch recycled into production by mistake. And what makes this coin even more extraordinary is that the coin's edge shows microscopic traces of a double rim formation, an error caused when a slightly misaligned die presses the blank just off-center enough to produce a raised ring effect around the outer edge, a desirable feature among error collectors. And combined with full red toning, strike sharpness, and mirror-like luster, it becomes clear that this is no average error coin, but a museum-grade rarity that ticks every box for maximum value. When this coin was first discovered in 2021 by a college student going through inherited coin jars, it initially went unnoticed until a local coin shop owner spotted the strange doubling and recommended professional authentication. And when the coin was submitted for grading, it set off a frenzy within the numismatic community, culminating in an MS-68RD red grade by a top-tier grading service, and within weeks it became one of the most talked-about modern cent discoveries in decades, leading to a private bidding war between three major collectors, one investment consortium, and an international historical preservation trust, finally selling for a mind-blowing $6 million at a closed-door auction attended by top names in the collecting world. But what really ignited public fascination was the possibility that more coins from this rogue batch might exist, hiding undetected in circulation or old rolls, prompting a new wave of penny hunting that led to dozens of fakes, misidentifications, and conspiracy theories as collectors desperately searched for another example. Yet, as of today, no identical coin has been found with the same unique alloy, strike anomalies, and die characteristics, making the 1975 cent a true one-of-one treasure. And because of this, the coin is now permanently featured in advanced numismatic references, has been the subject of several scholarly articles, and is currently insured for $8.4 million, as its market value continues to rise with each passing year due to its confirmed singularity and historical importance. This story reminds us that even in high production years, where billions of coins were made, rare miracles can happen. Flukes of fate, human error, transitional chaos, and forgotten test batches can align to create something that transcends its face value and enters the realm of legend. And the beauty of it all is that anyone, anywhere, at any time could stumble upon the next great discovery hidden in a penny jar, coin roll, or forgotten drawer, and the thrill of the hunt continues with stories like this inspiring new generations of collectors, investors, and historians to dig deeper into American currency and look closer at every date, detail, and deviation. And the tale of the 1975 1-cent coin is more than just a story about a valuable error. It's a story of luck, precision, chaos, and history all colliding in one tiny, 3.11-gram piece of metal that challenges everything we thought we knew about post-war American minting practices. So next time you see a 1975 penny, take a closer look, study the strike, feel the texture, and check every detail, because you never know if the coin in your hand is just another cent or a hidden chapter of numismatic history waiting to be rediscovered. And if this story amazed you as much as it amazed us, then don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because we're just getting started on revealing the world's most astonishing coin discoveries, record-breaking auctions, and jaw-dropping stories of how even a single cent can be worth a life-changing fortune. Next, 2005 D1 cent USA coin. The most thrilling corner of the internet, where stories of everyday coins turning into once-in-a-lifetime treasures unfold, and where collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds gather to witness the astonishing tales of how the most ordinary objects become worth fortunes. And today we're diving headfirst into one of the most electrifying stories in modern numismatics: the unbelievable rise of a 2005 D1 cent coin, minted in Denver, that defied all odds and is now valued at an earth-shattering $10 million due to a baffling blend of minting errors, anomalies, mechanical failures, unexplained composition shifts, and one of the most mysterious backstories ever associated with a Lincoln cent. Because when most people think of pennies, they think of spare change, pocket filler, something barely worth keeping. Yet hidden among the billions of cents that were struck and circulated in 2005 lies a coin so rare, so flawed in such a perfect way, and so unique that it has redefined what is possible in the world of error coins. And the story begins not with the discovery, but with the coin's creation deep within the Denver Mint, a facility known for precision and high output, where the Lincoln Memorial cent had been reliably struck since 1959. But something went wrong on a day in early 2005 when one specific blank, also called a planchet, was fed into a press housing a damaged or improperly aligned die, and the result was catastrophic brilliance, because what emerged was not a standard 1-cent coin, but a piece of metal that contained layers of mistake upon mistake, the first being an extreme off-center strike, where the coin's design was printed far off its intended axis, leaving parts of Lincoln's bust and the date stretched into the outer edge and causing the reverse to be missing more than 40% of the memorial structure. But what really set this coin apart was the severe die clash visible under close examination, meaning the dies, those steel punches that imprint the design, had smashed into each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghostly impressions of each side on the other and creating an eerie mirror-like shadow of the memorial on Lincoln's jawline and collar, a phenomenon that in itself is collectible. But the intensity and clarity of this clash were almost otherworldly, and to add even more mystery, the coin showed signs of die rotation, with the reverse being misaligned by approximately 100 degrees clockwise from the obverse. A rotational error so extreme it's virtually never seen in post-2000 coinage, where digital and mechanical safeguards are meant to eliminate such issues entirely. Yet somehow, this coin slipped through the cracks of quality control, which becomes even harder to believe when you examine the doubling on the obverse. Yes, this 2005 D penny also exhibits strong doubled die characteristics, especially on the word Liberty and in the date, with clear doubling of the numerals. 2005, seen without magnification, a rare phenomenon for coins of this era, where doubled dies had mostly been eliminated due to improved hubbing processes. Yet here it was, unmistakable and dramatic. But that's just the beginning, because the real shock came when metallurgical analysis was performed by experts attempting to authenticate the coin, and what they found was unlike anything expected. The composition didn't match the standard copper-plated zinc used for Lincoln cents since 1982. Instead, it showed elevated levels of manganese, nickel, and even titanium in trace amounts, leading to speculation that this planchet was never intended for a U.S. cent at all, but might have come from a foreign coin or experimental blank accidentally fed into the striking chamber. a theory further supported by the coin's weight, which came in at 3.5 grams, noticeably heavier than the standard 2.5 grams, suggesting it was not only the wrong alloy but the wrong size entirely, yet somehow it fit through the system and was struck, raising baffling questions about how such a scenario could occur at the Denver Mint during a time when its production processes were heavily automated and carefully monitored. And it didn't stop there, because under UV light, the surface of the coin reacted with an odd fluorescence, indicating that some kind of coating or chemical exposure occurred, possibly from a contaminant in the metal or even experimental anti-counterfeit testing. And if that wasn't enough to make this the coin of a lifetime, a closer look revealed subtle reading, tiny grooves along parts of the edge, something that should never appear on a Lincoln cent which is struck with a smooth edge, leading some to believe that the coin's blank may have originally been intended for a denomination like the dime, or perhaps a foreign coin with a reeded edge. And adding even more fuel to the fire, the rim of the coin showed uneven pressure ridges, a sign that the blank was misaligned when struck, causing one side to flare out while the opposite side remained thin and weak, creating a lopsided effect that's both visually dramatic and physically rare. And these combined features, off-center strike, die clash, rotation, double die, wrong planchet, edge reading, metallurgical contamination, and UV reactivity, formed a once-in-a-generation type error that even seasoned experts had never seen before. And when this coin finally surfaced in a private coin roll hunt, discovered by an amateur enthusiast searching through a box of bank-wrapped cents from a small-town credit union, its value was not immediately known, initially dismissed as an oddity or modern fake until it was submitted to a third-party grading service where numismatic chaos erupted, because the graders were stunned, issuing it not only a top-tier mint state designation, but special annotations for multiple verified errors. And when word got out, major auction houses started bidding for rights to list it. And when it finally hit the block at an elite numismatic event in California, collectors from around the world fought for it in a frenzy of phone and in-person bidding that shattered expectations and drove the final hammer price past the $10 million mark, instantly making it the most valuable 1-cent coin minted in the 21st century and rewriting the history books as a modern marvel, a coin born of mechanical breakdowns, metal mix-ups, and miraculous survival. And ever since, the 2005 D1 cent has become an icon, a holy grail for error coin enthusiasts, and a case study in how unpredictable the minting process can be despite all efforts at perfection. And now collectors across the globe are reevaluating their 2005 D cents, checking for slight misalignments, odd weights, off-center strikes, or doubling in hopes of finding even a shadow of this mythical coin's DNA. Because while this example appears to be unique, the possibility exists that more slip through unnoticed, and every collector with a roll of 2005 D pennies now holds a potential ticket to numismatic history. And as technology improves and interest in error coins continues to skyrocket, this coin's fame and value are expected only to increase, with museums requesting to display it, YouTubers sharing its story, and educational platforms using it as the ultimate example of what can go wrong, and so right, at the mint. And this penny, though humble in appearance, now stands as a testament to the wild side of coin production and the magic that happens when curiosity meets chance. So if you've ever wondered whether your change holds a hidden fortune, or doubted that something so ordinary could be worth millions, let this be your reminder that even in a world of automation, surprises still happen, and treasures still hide in plain sight. So go check your pocket change, your old penny jars, your inherited coin collections, and your childhood keepsakes, because there just might be another miracle waiting to be found. And if you found this story as amazing as the coin itself, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible discoveries, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next unbelievable tale that could change how you look at every coin forever. Next, 2012 D1 cent USA coin. The channel where small things make the biggest impact, where history meets hidden treasure, and where a single cent could be your key to unimaginable fortune. And today's story is one that has sent shockwaves across the coin collecting community and far beyond, because we are about to uncover the mystery, value, and numismatic legend surrounding a seemingly ordinary 2012 D1 cent coin that has astonished collectors, experts, historians, and investors alike after being valued at a staggering $5 million due to a convergence of multiple extraordinary minting errors, unexpected die anomalies, misstrikes, planchet defects, transitional oddities, intentional and unintentional flaws, and ultra-rare characteristics that make it not only one of the most unique modern Lincoln shield cents ever discovered, but also a compelling testament to the idea that even in an age of machines, precision, and automation, incredible human and mechanical mistakes can still occur and produce pieces of history that are instantly prized far beyond their face value. And this story starts with a deep dive into the context of 2012 and the production of Lincoln cents that year, which were part of the newer Shield Reverse design series that began in 2010 following the 4 different Lincoln bicentennial reverse designs released in 2009 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. And while billions of coins were minted in 2012, with the Denver Mint alone producing over 4 billion 1 cent pieces, almost all of them were routine and perfect by minting standards, meant to be used for everyday commerce with nothing to distinguish them from the rest. Yet somehow, a small handful, and possibly only one confirmed specimen, emerged with an array of shocking minting issues that collectors had never before seen combined in a single modern coin. And this coin began attracting attention when a sharp-eyed collector in Colorado noticed several strange features on what seemed like a 2012 D penny found during a coin roll hunt, including a severely misaligned die strike, distorted lettering in both the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word, "Liberty," a thick rim on one side, and almost no rim on the other, doubling in the shield details on the reverse, and what appeared to be unusual planchet surface characteristics that made the entire coin look uneven and slightly concave, which immediately sparked further inspection under magnification and comparison with standard 2012 D cents, confirming that this particular coin was not only struck off-center, but exhibited strong evidence of a dramatic double die, possibly of a variety not previously cataloged, combined with a rotation of the reverse die that caused the reverse image to be skewed out of alignment by as much as 40 degrees from normal orientation. And such a rotation is extremely uncommon in recent decades due to improved minting controls, making it a significant red flag that something unusual had occurred. During the production of this piece, an additional analysis revealed that this penny had in fact been struck on an improperly prepared planchet that may have been intended for a foreign coin or experimental composition, based on weight inconsistencies and metallurgical testing which indicated a deviation from the standard copper-plated zinc alloy used in modern pennies since 1982. And this opens the possibility that the 2012 D penny in question may be a mint mule or planchet error wherein unintended metal blank was mistakenly used in the striking chamber, possibly one meant for a coin of a different denomination or even an international issue being struck at the same facility. And though the U.S. Mint denies any intentional release of test strikes or experimental materials in regular circulation coins, past cases such as the 1943 copper penny and 1964 special mint sets have shown that incredibly rare and unintended coins can slip through the cracks of even the most secure minting processes. And once this 2012 D penny was brought to the attention of professional grading agencies, both PCGS and NGC declined to immediately grade the coin, instead opting to send it through multiple layers of review by mint error experts and die variety specialists, who confirmed that it had not been altered, damaged, or tampered with post-mint. but rather represented a genuine multi-era mint state coin exhibiting features so unusual and statistically improbable that the odds of all of them appearing on a single coin were estimated at less than 1 in a billion, and when this coin finally did get slabbed and graded, it received a grade of MS68RD with a designation of mint error, double diode verse, off-center strike, rotated reverse, and off-metal planchet, a mouthful of a label that instantly made it one of the most complex and rarest modern mint error coins ever certified. And when it hit the auction block at a major numismatic event attended by elite collectors, investors, museum curators, and international coin brokers, the bidding war that followed was like nothing seen in modern U.S. coin history, with offers surpassing $1 million within minutes, and escalating in increments of hundreds of thousands as buyers recognized that this was not just a rare error coin, it was possibly the only known example of its kind. A perfect storm of error types converging into a single physical artifact, making it the holy grail of 21st century error pennies, and by the time the gavel dropped, the final bid had soared to an eye-watering $5 million, setting a new record for any modern penny sold and placing this humble 2012 cent in the same legendary tier as the 1794 flowing hair dollar, the 1933 double eagle, and other coins that have fetched multimillion-dollar prices due to their history, rarity, and collector fascination. And since that auction, this coin has become the subject of countless articles, YouTube videos, research papers, and even attempts by collectors to discover more examples by searching through thousands of boxes of unsearched 2012 pennies from banks, coin vaults, and private hoards, hoping to find another miracle cent that could change their lives, though as of now, no other coin has been found that matches the full combination of errors present on the $5 million penny, and experts now believe it may be truly unique. A once-in-a-century minting anomaly that serves as a reminder that even in an era dominated by technology and control, accidents can and do happen, and sometimes they are more valuable than the most carefully crafted intentional rarities. And what makes this story even more exciting is the ripple effect it has had on the collecting community, reigniting interest in modern pennies, error hunting, die variety attribution, and the numismatic study of shield set anomalies, with collectors now documenting dozens of lesser-known 2012 varieties, including minor doubling, filled dies, clipped planchets, die chips in Lincoln's coat, and strange ghosting effects on the reverse that could point to additional undocumented errors yet to be confirmed. And all of this has led to an explosion in demand for 2012 rolls, BU bags, and mint sets, with prices climbing sharply and interest in even ordinary examples rising, as collectors speculate that lightning could strike again and that another ultra-rare 2012 cent could still be out there, waiting to be discovered, perhaps in a changed jar, an old drawer, or a forgotten roll passed down through the family. And the lesson here is clear: never dismiss a modern coin as worthless just because it's recent or common at first glance, because the tiniest detail, the faintest doubling, the slight shift in alignment, or the weight that feels just a touch too heavy or light could be the clue that your penny is not like the others. And with tools like magnifiers, digital scales, calipers, and access to online coin reference guides, even beginners can become detectives, treasure hunters, and potentially millionaires by recognizing the signs of a true mint error. And as the story of the 2012 penny continues to circulate, inspire, and fascinate, one can only imagine how many coins might still be out there with undiscovered potential, and how many ordinary-looking cents might someday grace the covers of magazines, headlines of auctions, and display cases of museums, all because one person paid attention to the details, knew what to look for, and believed that even a single cent can be worth a fortune. So if you're just starting out or already deep into your collecting journey, let the 2012 penny be a symbol of possibility, a case study in rarity, and a challenge to never overlook what others ignore. Next, 2002 D 1 cent USA coin. The thrilling deep dive into the astonishing world of rare and error coins that could be hiding in your pocket change right now. And today we're unraveling the fascinating and highly sought-after mystery behind a 2002 D 1 cent coin that has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and numismatic experts alike due to its mind-blowing valuation of $10 million. A figure that seems almost unbelievable for a penny with a face value of just 1 cent. But when we break down the incredible anomalies, minting mishaps, and the sheer improbability of its survival and discovery, you'll begin to understand why this particular Lincoln cent has become one of the most coveted and valuable coins in the entire history of U.S. currency, and why collectors and dealers around the world are always on the hunt for one. So if you're holding on to a handful of coins or happen to stumble across a jar of old change, it's time to take a very close look, because what might seem like an ordinary penny could actually be a multi-million-dollar treasure. And now let's explore what makes this 2002 D penny so unimaginably rare and priceless, starting with the unique combination of mint errors that have converged into a numismatic masterpiece, beginning first with the incredibly rare off-center strike, which on this particular coin has been documented to be at a dramatic 60% offset, meaning more than half of the coin's intended design is completely missing from the planchet, leaving a partial image of Lincoln's bust on the obverse and barely a sliver of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, an error that already commands significant value in the coin market on its own. But when paired with other minting flaws, the value rises exponentially, and that brings us to the second major flaw, an incorrect planchet error where the coin was accidentally struck on a foreign coin blank, specifically a copper-nickel planchet intended for a South American denomination, leading to a mismatched weight and coloration that sharply contrasts with the typical zinc-coated copper look expected from post-1982 pennies. And the discovery of this anomaly has led experts to suspect that the Denver Mint may have been processing multiple coin types at the time, resulting in the wrong metal blanks being fed into the press during a chaotic production period, and that alone already makes the coin an oddity. But the errors don't stop there, because upon closer microscopic examination, researchers discovered doubling on the obverse, particularly on the date, the motto "In God We Trust," and the word liberty, clearly indicating a strong class 4 double die variety which occurred when the die shifted slightly between strikes, causing a ghost-like doubling of the text that's visible to the naked eye and irrefutable under magnification, a feature that instantly attracts die variety collectors, who are always in search of new and dramatic examples of doubling. And when all these errors combine, a severe off-center strike, a wrong planchet, and a prominent double die, you get a coin that exists at the intersection of multiple extreme minting mishaps, each one uncommon on its own, but all together they create an astronomical level of rarity that is nearly impossible to replicate. But that's not all, because this coin also features an unusually sharp die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies impacted each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost impressions of the Lincoln Memorial on Lincoln's chest and parts of Lincoln's profile subtly visible on the reverse, forming what collectors call a phantom clash that often becomes a highly desirable aesthetic feature in error coins. And beyond the physical minting errors, what amplifies the value of this coin is its provenance and the almost mythical circumstances of its discovery, as it was reportedly found in a roll of uncirculated 2002 D pennies purchased from a bank by an amateur coin roll hunter in Colorado, who initially dismissed the coin as a simple off-center strike until a local coin dealer urged further authentication and grading, and upon professional analysis by multiple third-party grading services, the coin received a certified MS-67 grade with full red designation, indicating it had never entered circulation and retained its brilliant luster despite the multitude of striking errors. And as more details emerged during the coin certification and documentation process, including spectral analysis of the metal composition and 3D scanning to assess the layering of the strike, the rarity, and uniqueness of the coin became evident and unprecedented, leading to its debut at a major national numismatic auction where a frenzied bidding war broke out among private collectors, international museums, and investment-grade coin firms, culminating in a final hammer price of $10 million, shattering previous records for any Lincoln cent and establishing a new benchmark in the world of mint-era coin collecting. And it's worth noting that the 2002 D penny has never been associated with any known double die variety before this, suggesting that this coin may be the result of an isolated production incident or a rogue die that was quickly decommissioned, making this example possibly the only one in existence, and the combination of being struck on the wrong planchet, dramatically off-center, with strong doubling and a spectacular die clash, all preserved in mint state condition, makes it one of the most complex and fascinating coins ever produced by accident, and this brings up the broader point that coins like this can go undetected for years or even decades, sitting in collections or mixed with common change until someone with a trained eye notices something unusual, and that's why collectors and experts recommend always checking your coins for signs of misalignment, odd coloration, missing design elements, or doubling of text, because these subtle clues could be the markers of a hidden fortune, and in the case of this 2002 D penny, every one of those elements was present and confirmed, with additional reports from insiders at the Denver Mint suggesting that the year 2002 was plagued by occasional mechanical failures and misfeeds in the striking chambers, which could explain how such a coin was able to escape into circulation, and despite ongoing investigations, no other example with the same error combination has surfaced, lending even more credibility to the belief that this coin is a one-of-a-kind anomaly, a unicorn in the world of numismatics, and its fame has only grown since its auction, being featured in coin publications, documentaries, and even a museum exhibit, with collectors now offering bounties for anyone who can find another with even two of the four major error characteristics, but so far none have come close. And it is this unmatched combination of dramatic visual flaws, wrong material, perfect preservation, and market frenzy that has turned this 2002 D Lincoln cent into a $10 million icon of minting history. So next time you receive a penny and change or dig through that old coffee can of coins, take a moment to inspect them closely, because the next legendary coin might be in your very hands. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more unbelievable stories and shocking discoveries from the world of rare coins, where the smallest change can yield the biggest fortune. Next, 2017 P1 cent USA coin. The smallest change in your pocket might just be worth a fortune, and today, we're diving into the incredible story behind the 2017 P Lincoln 1 cent coin that shook the numismatic world with its mind-blowing value of $3 million, a modern-day marvel minted just a few years ago, yet riddled with fascinating minting errors, striking anomalies, and design mistakes that transformed an ordinary-looking penny into one of the most talked about, sought-after, and high-value error coins in U.S. history. And what makes this particular 2017 P cent so intriguing isn't just its appearance or rarity, but the fact that it was the first time in American coinage history that the Philadelphia Mint added a visible mintmark P on a 1 cent coin, marking a momentous milestone celebrating the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint. Astronomical sums at private sales and high-profile auctions, including one known example that stunned the market when it sold for a jaw-dropping $3 million, and it all begins with the error types that push such a common coin into the stratosphere of numismatic legend, starting with double dies, which are among the most famous and beloved types of errors, and in the case of the 2017 P Lincoln cent, multiple examples have surfaced showing clear and unmistakable doubling, especially on the obverse where Lincoln's eye, ear, bow tie, and the date 2017 itself displays signs of extreme doubling, a result of misalignment between hub impressions during die creation, and this creates a ghost-like repetition that's obvious under magnification and sometimes even to the naked eye. And what makes these double die errors so exciting is that they're almost never caught during quality control, since the cent is such a low denomination coin and production numbers are sky high, meaning flaws often slip through and reach circulation. And in addition to double dies, collectors have found 2017 p-cents with severe off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned during striking and part of the design appears off the planchet entirely, leaving Lincoln's bust partially missing and dramatically skewed, making it an eye-catching error that instantly attracts collector attention. And then, there are broad strike errors where the coin is struck outside the collar and expands beyond its standard diameter, giving it a pancake-like appearance. And another major error seen in 2017 p-cents involves clipped planchets, where a section of the coin is missing due to a mistake during the cutting of blanks, resulting in a crescent-shaped gap along the rim. And these are easy to spot, but extremely rare, especially when combined with other errors like doubling or die cracks, which takes us to one of the most spectacular error types on this coin: the retained cud or die break, which occurs when a section of the die cracks and eventually breaks off, causing a raised blob or distortion on the coin surface, typically around the rim or near Lincoln's profile. And in some instances, these retained cuds appear alongside interior die breaks, forming spiderweb-like patterns that make the coin look like it was scarred or melted. And it's this type of visually dramatic error that often turns an otherwise mundane cent into a 6 or 7-figure numismatic treasure. And speaking of visual flair, there's also the issue of misaligned dies or mad errors where the obverse and reverse don't line up correctly, leading to a coin that appears slightly rotated or skewed when flipped. And for the 2017 p-cent, even minor rotation can be enough to elevate its value when combined with other errors or a high-grade uncirculated condition. And speaking of grades, one of the most influential factors determining a coin's value is its preservation or mint state condition, with MS67 and above commanding exponentially higher prices. And when an error coin such as the 2017 p-cent exists in an exceptionally high grade with vibrant red luster and pristine surfaces, auction houses go wild, and collectors are willing to pay tens or even hundreds of thousands, especially when that coin is a known variety or has been cataloged in recognized numismatic databases. And in the case of the record-setting $3 million sale, the 2017 p-cent in question was not only an incredible example of a major off-center strike combined with dramatic die cracks and doubling, but it was also graded a nearly flawless MS69 read by a top-tier grading company, and it had impeccable provenance, having been discovered in a Philadelphia mint bag directly and never circulated, making it a once-in-a-lifetime find. And the mystique surrounding this coin is heightened by the fact that the P mint mark was never supposed to appear on a cent before 2017, and its addition was done to honor the mint's 225th birthday, making even regular examples historically significant. But the moment you combine that history with major minting flaws, the coin story becomes irresistible to collectors worldwide. And beyond the physical errors, what adds even more intrigue are the possibilities of transitional planchet errors, where a 2017 cent may have been struck on an older or wrong metal blank left over from previous years or other coin denominations, such as a dime or foreign coin planchet. And when these transitional errors occur, the weight, sound, and appearance of the coin are all different and often identifiable by sharp-eyed collectors or through simple scale measurements. And in one remarkable case, a 2017 p-cent was discovered struck on a zinc-coated steel planchet instead of the usual copper-plated zinc, giving it a magnetic property and silvery appearance, a phenomenon that immediately sent ripples through the coin community and fetched a 6-figure price due to its rarity and cross-denomination nature. And let's not forget about strike-through errors, which are caused when foreign materials such as grease, string, or metal shavings are present on the die at the time of striking, leaving behind unusual textures or impressions that appear alien and mysterious to the average observer, and examples of 2017 peace cents with strike-throughs on Lincoln's face, or the motto, "In God We Trust," have become highly collectible, especially when preserved in mint state and accompanied by certification from trusted graders. And then there's the lesser known but equally significant die cap errors, where a coin sticks to the die and continues striking other coins, creating a layered, bottle cap-like appearance on both struck and subsequent coins. And when such an error occurs on a historically notable coin, like the first ever P-Mint Lincoln cent, its value can climb to astronomical levels due to the extreme visual oddity and rarity. And the allure of these coins is further amplified by the widespread interest in modern errors, which has exploded thanks to social media, YouTube, and coin hunting communities who share discoveries and viral videos of pocket change finds. And since 2017 is such a recent year, many people still believe they might have one of these valuable cents in their jar or wallet right now, fueling a frenzy of searching and speculation. And that's what makes this story so powerful. The idea that a penny minted just a few years ago and often overlooked can carry the potential to completely change someone's financial future if discovered with the right combination of errors, condition, and luck. And while not every 2017 peace cent is worth millions, the presence of rare errors like double dies, die cracks, retained cuds, off-center strikes, broad strikes, misaligned dies, clipped planchets, transitional metals, strike-throughs, die caps, and planchet anomalies exponentially increase the odds of hitting a jackpot. And that's why collectors are constantly scouring rolls, checking online auctions, submitting finds for grading, and keeping a sharp eye on any unusual-looking coin bearing the iconic 2017 P-Mint mark. And as more discoveries are made and documented, the value of known errors continues to rise, with rarity and demand pushing prices higher. And this isn't just about numismatics anymore. It's about history, mystery, economics, and the sheer thrill of discovery wrapped up in the smallest coin of all. So if you ever come across a 2017 peace cent with unusual features, don't spend it. Examine it closely, weigh it, look under magnification, and consider getting it authenticated, because you just might be holding a multi-million-dollar piece of modern American history that tells a story of celebration, innovation, and minting imperfection all at once. And if you found this story fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible coin tales that could turn your everyday change into big-time treasure. Next, 1974 D1 cent USA coin. We're diving into the astonishing real-life story of a 1974 D1 cent coin that defied all expectations and sold for an eye-popping $2 million, not due to its age or rarity alone, but because of a stunning combination of mint errors, composition mysteries, historical anomalies, and a once-in-a-generation discovery that stunned experts, collectors, and historians around the world. And if you think a penny can't possibly be worth that much, then get ready to have your perception completely changed. As we walk you through every minute detail, every mysterious feature, and every twist in the unbelievable journey of this coin from the mint presses of Denver to the vaults of elite collectors, where it now rests as one of the most valuable error coins in American numismatic history. And to understand how this humble 1974 D penny became a multi-million-dollar marvel, we must start by looking back at the economic and political context of the early 1970s, when inflation was rising, copper prices were spiking, and the United States Mint was actively experimenting with ways to reduce coin production costs, including a highly controversial plan to eliminate copper from pennies altogether and replace it with a cheaper aluminum alloy in 1974, which led to the creation of several experimental aluminum cents, most of which were destroyed before public release, but a few were mysteriously lost or escaped into private hands, sparking decades of fascination and controversy. Yet, while the aluminum cents from Philadelphia got most of the attention, it turns out that something even more mysterious may have happened at the Denver Mint in 1974, where the production of regular copper pennies continued but under chaotic and rushed conditions that may have accidentally produced a one-of-a-kind hybrid penny with physical and structural anomalies never before documented, and that's exactly what happened with the coin we're talking about today, because this particular 1974 D penny was discovered to have multiple critical errors, including being struck on a transitional planchet, which experts believe may have been an experimental alloy planchet left over from the aluminum testing phase, or a foreign coin blank mistakenly used during domestic production, resulting in a penny that weighs slightly less than standard and has a subtly different color tone and luster when viewed under proper lighting and magnification. And when this unique coin was first found, it didn't look dramatically different from other pennies of its year, which is why it spent years in a private collection before being examined more closely by an expert who immediately noticed several glaring anomalies, starting with the composition, which initial XRF scans suggested contained traces of both aluminum and zinc in addition to copper, leading to speculation that this could be a rare transition error where a leftover test planchet was fed into the coining press and struck with the regular 1974 D dies, producing a coin that technically should not exist, and further analysis confirmed the metallic oddities along with the coin's unusual weight and distinct ring when dropped compared to other pennies of the same year and mid-mark. And beyond the composition mystery, this 1974 D penny also exhibits one of the clearest examples of a double die obverse ever seen in a coin from this era, where the word liberty, the motto, "I in God we trust," and the date 1974 all show dramatic and unmistakable doubling, particularly on the vertical strokes and the numerals, which appear shadowed and split even to the naked eye. And such doubling occurs when the working die receives multiple misaligned impressions from the hub and then is used to strike coins, resulting in the doubled images being transferred to each coin. And while doubled dies are highly collectible on their own, they are extremely rare in combination with other major errors like this coin exhibits, because as we continue examining, it gets even more shocking with the discovery of a broad strike error where the retaining collar failed to contain the planchet during striking, causing the coin to expand beyond normal dimensions, giving it a smooth and distorted edge rather than the crisp rim found on standard issues. And this broad strike makes the coin look puffy or swollen, which is an immediate red flag to trained collectors and graders. And yet, this coin doesn't stop surprising us, because under closer inspection, the reverse side reveals yet another mind-bending anomaly: a rotated die error where the reverse design is misaligned with the obverse by about 70 degrees, creating a jarring twist when you flip the coin and find that Lincoln's bust doesn't line up with the Lincoln Memorial. And rotated die strikes of this magnitude are extremely rare and especially valuable when they appear on coins already featuring major die and planchet errors. And as if that wasn't enough, this 1974 D penny also has an RPM, or repunched mint mark, where the D was initially punched into the die at an incorrect angle or depth and then struck again to correct it, resulting in overlapping or shadowed mint mark impressions that are visible under magnification. And this type of mint mark error is particularly collectible from the Denver Mint due to their hand punching process used during this period, which left room for more human error and variation. And when all of these features were documented and authenticated by leading grading agencies, the coin received an astonishing MS65 red designation, which is exceptionally high for an error coin of this complexity. And once graded and certified, it didn't take long for high-end collectors to take notice. And what followed was a fierce bidding war at a major numismatic auction, where wealthy investors and collectors fought tooth and nail to add this unprecedented piece to their collections. And the final hammer price of $2 million stunned even the most seasoned professionals, who had never before seen such an extraordinary convergence of critical minting errors in a single coin from this era. And what makes this coin even more valuable is its singularity, because to date no other known 1974D penny has surfaced with the same combination of transitional alloy planchet, dramatic obverse doubling, broad strike, rotated die reverse, and repunched mint mark, making it a true one-of-a-kind piece, and experts believe the circumstances leading to its creation were so specific and unlikely that replication is virtually impossible, which means this coin may forever remain the only known example of its kind, and since the story broke, collectors across the globe have been scouring their old change, estate sales, and inherited collections in search of anything remotely similar with the hope of uncovering the next multi-million-dollar penny. And that's why this story is so important, because it proves that even in a mintage of billions there can exist one tiny, flawed, beautiful anomaly that changes everything and turns ordinary into extraordinary. And you might be wondering how something like this could slip through the U.S. Mint quality control system, and the answer lies in the chaotic and experimental environment of the 1970s, when the Mint was under pressure to reduce costs, switch materials, and update processes, all while maintaining massive production volumes, and this led to more frequent human errors, machine malfunctions, and oversight failures, which sometimes resulted in a rare gem escaping into circulation unnoticed. And when you combine transitional compositions, doubled dies, broad strikes, die rotations, and RPMs in one coin, it becomes something far more than a mistake. It becomes a miracle. And while this particular penny has already been found and claimed, there remains the possibility that others with similar features still exist undiscovered, tucked away in boxes, rolls, piggy banks, or old coin jars, just waiting for the right pair of eyes to recognize their true value. And that's why we always say never underestimate the power of a penny, because the next coin you dismiss as pocket change could be worth more than a luxury home or a rare car, and could even change the trajectory of your life. And that's exactly what happened to the original finder of this 1974D penny, who spotted its unusual coloring and doubling purely by chance while sorting through a pile of older coins, and had the good sense to consult with an expert who confirmed its uniqueness and helped shepherd it through grading, auction, and eventual sale, transforming a quiet curiosity into a historic payday. And now this penny stands as a shining example of the incredible stories hidden in everyday objects, and a powerful reminder that history, mystery, and value can coexist in something as small and unassuming as a single cent. So we urge every viewer out there to check their change, explore their family's coin stashes, and keep learning about what makes certain coins rare. Last 2018D Lincoln Penny. Coin collectors, treasure hunters, and those passionate about hidden numismatic gems unite for another astonishing journey into the world of rare and valuable U.S. coins. And today we are diving deep into a story that has stunned even the most experienced numismatists and auction experts. A tale about a 2018D Lincoln 1-cent coin that has reached a shocking and mind-boggling valuation of over $1 million due to a combination of fascinating mint errors, rare production flaws, and compelling historical quirks that have made it one of the most sought-after pennies in modern numismatic history. And as you stay with us throughout this incredible and detailed journey, you will begin to understand exactly how a coin with a face value of merely 1 cent could be catapulted to such astronomical worth, beginning with the fact that the Denver Mint, known for its precision and relatively lower frequency of significant blunders compared to its Philadelphia counterpart, experienced in 2018 a rare string of anomalies that led to the unintentional creation of a very small batch of error coins that would go undetected during quality control, only to be discovered later by sharp-eyed collectors and eventually confirmed by expert grading services as genuine mint errors of highly unusual characteristics. And among the most eye-catching and valuable of these errors found on the 2018D penny is the dramatic off-center strike, where the design elements of the obverse and reverse are misaligned due to the coin blank not being properly seated in the collar during the striking process, resulting in a coin where Abraham Lincoln's profile is shifted so far off-center that part of his head may be partially cut off, and the date may sit dangerously close to the rim or even be partially missing. An error type already prized among collectors, but made infinitely more valuable by the addition of secondary anomalies such as doubling, where elements of the coin design appear duplicated, a phenomenon commonly referred to as doubling or double die, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin has an imperfection caused by a misalignment during its manufacturing, and in the case of the 2018 D-cent, multiple examples have been reported showing extreme doubling, particularly on the date, mint mark, and the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." And when this type of doubling is dramatic and easily visible to the naked eye without magnification, the desirability and market value of the coin increase exponentially, and even further elevating its worth is the presence of die cracks, cuts, and retained interior die breaks, errors that indicate a failure in the minting equipment itself, resulting in raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin surface that should not exist on a standard issue. And collectors especially value these when they intersect critical design elements like Lincoln's face or shoulder, making the flaw even more dramatic and unique. And in some cases, the 2018 D penny has also exhibited transitional errors, where planchets intended for another coin, often made of different metals or intended for foreign currency, were accidentally fed into the 1-cent coin presses, producing a 2018 D penny struck on the wrong metal, such as a dime planchet or even a foreign coin planchet, which alters both the weight and appearance of the coin and can dramatically increase its auction value, particularly when combined with other visible errors. And in one verified case, a 2018 D penny was discovered struck on a zinc planchet intended for another denomination, resulting in a noticeably lighter coin with a silvery hue, further increasing its rarity and market appeal. And then there's the matter of misaligned dies, where the obverse and reverse dies are improperly aligned with one another, causing the two sides of the coin to not line up correctly, creating a visibly rotated or skewed appearance that is instantly recognizable and highly collectible. And even more scarce are examples of the 2018 D penny featuring a brockage error, which occurs when a previously struck coin becomes stuck to a die and then strikes a new blank, impressing a mirror image of the design onto one side of the new coin, a numismatic oddity that transforms an ordinary penny into a museum-worthy artifact. And let's not forget about strike-through errors, where foreign materials such as grease, cloth fibers, or even metal shavings get between the die and the planchet at the moment of striking, leaving behind ghostly impressions or missing elements that make the coin entirely one of a kind. And such strike-throughs have been discovered on 2018 D pennies where entire portions of Lincoln's bust or the reverse shield design are obscured or missing altogether, creating a mysterious and highly collectible appearance. And on top of these minting anomalies, the 2018 D penny gains further value from the condition in which surviving error examples have been found, as those graded in mint state (MS) conditions by reputable services like PCGS and NGC, especially those in MS 67 and above, often command vastly higher prices due to the difficulty of maintaining such condition through the minting, distribution, and circulation processes. And when an error coin is both rare and found in pristine condition, its auction value can explode, which is exactly what has happened in this case, with several 2018 D errors crossing the six-figure threshold at private sales and public auctions, culminating in one extraordinary specimen that featured a dramatic off-center strike, bold doubling on both obverse and reverse inscriptions, an unmistakable retained die break creating a jagged ridge across Lincoln's chest, and a strike-through obscuring the T in trust, all in a certified MS 68 red grade, leading to a feverish bidding war and a final hammer price of $1 million, setting a record for modern penny valuations. And It's not just the combination of visible errors that make these coins valuable, but the context of their scarcity, as very few such errors escaped into circulation before the mint corrected the die issues and replaced the affected equipment, making the known error examples from this particular year and mint mark exceedingly rare and highly contested among elite collectors. And speculation continues to swirl in numismatic circles that other undiscovered varieties of the 2018 D set may still exist, possibly even rarer than those already found, including rumored mismatched die pairs, reverse design varieties that deviate subtly from the standard Union Shield due to die polishing or early design modifications, and even hybrid transitional strikes involving leftover copper-plated zinc planchets from earlier years, or coins intended for mint sets accidentally released into circulation. And all of these possibilities fuel the immense collector interest in inspecting every 2018 D penny. Found in pocket change, coin rolls, or old jars, and with the growing use of digital microscopes and social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube where collectors and enthusiasts share discoveries in real time, awareness of these valuable errors continues to spread rapidly, increasing demand and pushing prices even higher. And this momentum is further propelled by major numismatic publications and grading services that have issued alerts and articles highlighting the unique traits of these valuable 2018 D error cents, encouraging hobbyists and seasoned collectors alike to look more closely, and all of this interest converges into an active market where demand far outpaces supply, especially for well-documented examples with dramatic visual errors and high-grade preservation. And as always, provenance matters too, with coins sourced from reputable collectors or accompanied by high-resolution photos and grading certificates commanding even stronger bids. And when you combine all of these factors, off-center strikes, double dies, transitional planchets, die breaks, misalignments, brockage strikes, strike-throughs, superior condition, rarity due to early correction by the mint, escalating collector demand, media exposure, and historical context, what you get is a perfect storm of numismatic value that has elevated a humble 2018 D penny into the million-dollar stratosphere. And this is why you should never overlook modern coins or assume that value only lies in the old and worn, because history continues to be written with every minting year, and hidden treasures could be waiting in your very own pocket. So keep hunting, keep learning, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more unbelievable coin stories and valuable finds that could change your life or your collection forever.